Oh, wow. Baby. Baby, baby. Where did sharks' love go? Do, 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 do. Do, 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 do. Where did sharks' love go? You guys, right here, 1-800-449-8255. You're on the fabulous, amazing, incredible Clark the Shark Talk radio show, #1 rated, syndicated, hated show in North America. The Milky Way, Andromeda, and maybe beyond. I know I rule the airwaves only in Andromeda and the Milky Way. Those other UFOs are, that are like 800,000 light years away. A lot of them, they don't like the Clark the Shark show out there, but they love it in Andromeda and the Milky Way, you guys, where shark is #1. Everywhere, baby. On WSHRK Radio AM, Detroit, where today Barry Sharky Gordy is talking about one of my favorite all-time acts in music. And of course, I'm talking about these three ladies, the Supremes, later known as Diana Ross and the Supremes. And here's a little weird side note. I, Clark the Shark, met Diana Ross at Gelson's Market up in Beverly Hills off, I would see all these celebrities there because I worked as a landscaper for this Arab guy, Mr. Ida, Ghazi Ita was his name, on Sunset, where I, Clark the Shark, would form my first failed record label with GE Music at 10060 Sunset, I guess it was, or maybe 10600. I don't remember, but I know that Michael Jackson died right across the street from my house. They called me Kato Kalin because I lived in the guest house. I think they even called me Kato before we even knew who Kato was, when OJ murdered his ex-wife and Ron Goldman up there in Brentwood. Well, I lived not far from that, in Bel Air, I guess, or Beverly Hills or Holmby Hills, where all the rich people lived. I, Clark the Shark, was a landscaper, and off and on, I would live at various places up in Bel Air, Beverly Hills, being a landscaper by day and being lonely by night, and listening to music up there like the Supremes, you guys, or whatever, the Rascals, or, me, Clark the Shark, anything I could find at 1-800-449-8255, right here on the fabulous, amazing, golden EIB Sharkraphone. It's not a microphone, you guys. It's not even built by the Shure Microphone Company. It's built by the Lord God. And my Sharkraphone was given to me by Dick Clark. I'm not kidding, you guys. He personally gave me a solid gold Sharkraphone. And he said, one day you, Clark the Shark, will be on the air and you'll be the biggest talk radio guy in the world. And it'll all be because you just mainly babble about yourself, on and on, rambling endlessly. But tonight, I'm not really talking about me, Clark the Shark. I'm talking about the Supremes. And Diana Ross was so nice to me, you guys. I told her I was a big fan, and, I thought she was going to be like a mean black lady. And she put her stuff down and gave me a hug. And I was like, what? I was like creeped out or something. I was only like 22. It was 1987 up in Bel Air. And I don't even know what she was doing there. But she was there shopping at Gelson's near Beverly Glen and Wilshire, I guess. Or, yeah, Wilshire and Beverly Glen. There was a Gelson's, maybe a little up the road, up Beverly Glen. I'm not sure, but I remember it right by Wilshire, because I would go there and I would buy Hanson's drinks and Triscuits and Coke and 7-Up and, you know, everything that a lonely 22-year-old Sharky back in 1987 needs at night to fuel my nothing, nowhere life. And then so I can get up and mow lawns and weed whip, using the weed whipper up in Bel Air, working for some rich guy, some Arabic guy that was worth like 100 million, who owned Owlwood, where Sonny and Cher and once lived, and Tony Curtis, and then my brother Greg became like the head caretaker. He was actually supposed to work, and he never did. He just hired guys like me to work. And then I would go there and argue with him about the money and like, dude, why'd you only pay me $150? Back in the 80s, dude, $150 was like a lot of money. If you made like $300 in 1988 or 1987, that would be like today making like 1,000 or something. I'm not kidding you guys. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show. But the Supremes, now these three ladies, to me, Clark the Shark, back in the 60s, I would always say, they're not a real group. It's just three ladies that Berry Gordy threw together and other people wrote their songs and, but really, honestly, you guys, back in the 50s, in a tenement slum, just like the song says, these three love children who grew up with no name, so ashamed their friends would find out or something, or at least Diana, I don't know. The song is like semi-autobiographical, but yeah, you guys, they were a real 3 or 4 ladies in the 50s. And then I don't even think Berry Gordy wanted to sign them to Motown, but, somehow he ended up signing them, you guys, by the grace of the Lord God above. It's a miracle. And then, of course, they got into the studio and, it was a little clumsy in the beginning. They weren't really hitting the ball out of the park. In the early days. And then all of a sudden, as time went on, just these hit little 2-minute, 3-minute, I don't know, these little ditties, these little songs would start to happen for the Supremes. Oh, gosh. The Housing Project, where I guess Diana Ross, or maybe all of them were from, I don't know, but oh, look at these three goddesses, you guys. Back in the 60s, what a great time. I remember being a little kid, 3 years old, hearing all the songs by the Supremes. And then, of course, as I grew, I would listen to K-Earth 101 or KRLA in Los Angeles. Of course, I was in Redondo Beach and Torrance, and I heard me a lot of Supremes, you guys, in my day. And I was like, wow, what a song, The Happening. Look at those three ladies. And, back in the 60s, imagine that. 3 black ladies, the nerve of them, the audacity of them to think they can be so awesome and call themselves the Supremes. They were called the Primettes, and there's where I guess Beyonce tried to copy that one album, you guys, You can't copy her. Come on. She's so nice, you guys. I couldn't believe it. She's got like 5 or 6 kids or something. And I think she had 2 of her kids with her. And I was like, I think they hugged me too, you guys. It'll always be a special moment. I was like, wow. I would think they would hate me or something. Like some white boy coming up and, hey, I'm a big fan, like a little kid. And she just put her stuff down, like her groceries and her purse and everything. I don't think there were any cell phones back then in 1987, but I'll swear that Diana Ross had one. They were unheard of. And she was talking on something, you guys, when I was just 22. And I was like, what's that? And she's like, someday you all will know. Of course, the classic lineup is these 3 ladies, you guys, but they would even have hits after Diana left. It's weird. But, you know, with Berry Gordy, I mean, come on. Motown, you know, anything's possible, you guys. I mean, their music was amazing, but I get kind of bitter because I wish there was more originals written by all these ladies. I'd love to think, you know, that they can do it or something, but I don't. In this case, I'm like, I don't even care. I'm like, you know, sometimes when Ashford and Simpson, you guys, come on, you love those songs. And I'm thinking maybe even, you know, maybe even Goff and King, I'm not sure, but Berry Gordy would get, you know, he would get great songs for the Supremes, you guys. Now, they struggled in the beginning with these early songs, you know. Some of them are kind of okay. But when they get into like this thing where the Beatles hit the scene in the 60s, you guys, and then, you know, Motown is like, well, you know, Berry Gordy was a guy who didn't care about white or black or any of that, or at least that's what they say. But he truly was a guy like me, Clark the Shark. You know, there was no more white or black with him. And he was a big inspiration on me. Now, I don't know if he really believed that because Motown seemed like a really black thing, you guys. It did. But Where Did Our Love Go? You know, 1964. It kind of begins here, although there are some great songs before. But, you know, it just goes right to number 1. What a song. Baby Love. Gosh. You know, 1964 is a big year for them. It Come See About Me, of course. Awesome. They're all number 1, you guys. Where Did Our Love Go sold 2 million. Baby Love, 1 million. I wonder what Berry Gordy was paying them. You know, I hope a lot. I don't know that Diana Ross is bitter, but I think the other Supremes are bitter about the royalties. It Come See About Me, of course. 1 million. Selling 45s out of Motown back in the day, Hitsville, USA. You know, Berry Gordy. Stop in the Name of Love. You know, what a song. Wow. Oh, gosh. What an amazing song. And it just gets better and better. Back in My Arms Again. You know that one. These are incredible. I don't care who writes them. I know it's probably Ashford and Simpson or Goff and King or those Motown staff writers. I don't even care. But, you know, they go through a little time where, you know, they're not really killing the charts. But then I Hear a Symphony. 1965, the year Clark the Shark is born. What a song. Awesome. You know, they got to do the obligatory Santa Claus, Christmas songs. And, my favorite things didn't really chart. But then all of a sudden, this incredible song, My World is Empty Without You, Shark. What a song, you guys. My world is empty without you. It almost reminds me like I could hear Eric Burdon and the Animals, or maybe the New Animals doing that song or something. I love that little sound, like maybe the glockenspiel or the marimba or the viola. I don't know what you call it, the xylophone. That little sound that's in a lot of Motown in the mid 60s. It's on Tammy Terrell and Marvin Gaye song too, Ain't No Mountain. I love that little thing, that little marimba at the beginning. Ding, 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 ding. I love it. But My World is Empty Without You has that sound in it. I love that sound, you guys. Love is like an itching in my heart. But then, You Can't Hurry Love. And I hate the Phil Collins version, you guys. I wish that was never recorded because I love the Supremes version. You can't hurry love. Oh, you just got to wait. Sharky doo doo doo. I remember that. You can't hurry love. I remember being young, trying to meet a girl. Hey, you can't hurry love. It really is true, you guys. What a song. And all of a sudden, you guys, here comes another amazing classic. You keep Shark hanging on. Ooh. And of course, the other version, the cover by, who's that band? Beck, Bogart, and Appices. Vanilla Fudge. Tim Bogart and those guys. Appice. What a version of it, you guys. Vanilla Fudge, you keep me hanging on. It's almost like they're answering the Supremes. They're like, hey, girls, we guys, you keep us hanging on too. But the Supremes version, come on, you guys. Yeah, baby, you keep me hanging on. Love is here. And oh, my Sharky, now you're gone. Awesome, you guys. And The Happening, of course. I love the melody there. Incredible memories of K-Earth 101. Growing up in the South Bay, Redondo, Torrance, Hermosa Beach, taking a long bike ride on a Strand cruiser down on the Strand on the beach and listening to the Supremes in my Walkman. You guys remember that? The little headphones, the Walkman. Reflections of the way Shark used to be. What a song that is, where the Supremes kind of go psychedelic. It's a million seller, you guys. I hope Berry Gordy was paying them 50 cents or $1 for every million. Come on. I mean, I know that Mary Wells, who died recently, I don't know if she was real bitter about the Hitsville, USA, Motown. I think she did all right, along with Diana Ross. But I know the other girls who kind of came and went in this band, Florence Ballard for certain, they were bitching and griping about, getting paid royalties. I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I know Florence Ballard died young, you guys. And I remember that. I was like, I was sad. She died when I was just a kid. I was like 11 or 12. I don't know. And then suddenly Mary died. And it was sad for Clark the shark to realize one day, just recently, just a couple of years ago, that another Supreme had died and passed away. A bit of my childhood, you guys, was gone. When Mary died, I don't know if Diana, a lot of people said Diana would push her way to the top. Maybe she had to, I don't know. But the Diana I knew was a nice lady. I don't know about the business Diana. Maybe not so nice, you guys, behind the scenes, but in and out of love. Some of these songs, Forever Came Today. Good songs, but, some things you never get used to. I never get used to people dying. They said Mary did a YouTube video, and then, I don't know, the next night or maybe 2 nights later, she went to sleep at night, and she didn't wake up, you guys. That's how quick we can go. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show. Of course, Love Child, semi-autobiographical. A little biography there, autobiography, I don't know. She started life in a worn, torn dress that somebody threw out. It's true, you guys. They were a group before they were the Supremes. It was Destiny, you guys. Like Destiny's Children. Love Child. It was maybe all just meant to be. I would love to see people write their own songs, but in this case, I'm gonna make you love, Shark. Yes, I will, you guys. I mean, look at all these killer songs. I'll try something new. No matter what sign you are, me, Clark the Shark, I'm a Taurus, and I care about signs. I'll usually only talk to Pisces, a lot of them, and maybe Cancer, Capricorn, Scorpio, but I'm supposed to talk to Virgos, but they're usually douchebags. I'm supposed to like them, but I fucking hate Virgos. But, no matter what sign you are, right here on the Clark the Shark Show, I might accept you, even if you are like a Leo or a Gemini. I second that emotion. Yeah. I like the Smokey Robinson version more. But here's probably my favorite song. Someday you'll be with Sharky. This goes out to little Angelia. Little Angelia, Niza, wherever you are. Someday we'll be together. You and me, Angie. And the Lord's like, I sent her. Sharky, to prove that I exist. And I know you think you're such a genius, Shark. You're so much smarter than everybody else. You're like Frank Zappa. You're too fucking smart to believe in God. So he's like, I got a plan. I'm going to send you little Angelia, Sharky, at 1-800-449-8255. Let's see how you handle that. And then I'm going to take her away from you right when she's coming of age and learning how to talk. When she's only 3 and, about to turn 3. She's like 2 years, 9 months or so. I don't know. We were together so long, me and Angelia. Sold 3 million worldwide, 2 million in the US. It sold that many for a reason, Angelia, because I wanted to adopt you. Someday we'll be together. Maybe in heaven, maybe not on this earth, but I swear to God, I gotta be good so I can see my baby when I leave this world. I gotta stay good and I gotta pray. Diana, I think that's why I met you at Gelson's up in Beverly Hills. Because you looked at me with those eyes I'll never forget. It's almost like you knew about Angelia. Diana, I don't know why when I think about Angelia, little girl I watched from the time she was 4 months old to when she was almost 3 and just learning to talk. And at first she called me Dad and Daddy, and I was freaked out. And I was like, Angie, I'm just your bro. I'm Clark. And then she started calling me Clark and coming and I'd be asleep and she'd be like, wake up. All I can say, Angelia, wherever you are, is someday we'll be together. Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Maybe not in this life, Angie, but in the next. I don't know when, where. You guys, and they go on, of course, to have, Diana leaves, you guys. Why does she leave the Supremes? But then she went to have all these babies. What a nice lady. 5 kids. She's like, look, Sharky, I'm getting busy. I'm not just in a band or a group, or I'm not like you, Sharky. I don't just dedicate. Mary dedicated, you guys, hard to the Supremes. I think she's the only Supreme to never leave. Back in the 50s when they were unknowns, she was in it. And then through all the times, you guys, she stayed with it. What a dedicated lady. And it all started there, you guys. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show. It's not really an album review. I'm just reviewing something from my childhood. I would hear, this music growing up. And I loved it, you guys. I loved it. I was just 10 years old, 1975. And I had to tell her when I met her, I was like, I'm a big fan. And she was like looking at me with this face right here, like, you, white boy, you like me, you like us. And I was like, oh, yeah. Who knows? Maybe that's why I, Clark the Shark, have this weird affinity or something, or relationship with Black people. My wife is Black, of course, and my family, before they got a restraining order on me and estranged me forever, were Black people. But I think they all get together and they're like, we can't like Clark the Shark. We have to hate him because he thinks he's so much better than us. But you guys, see that star on the Walk of Fame, Hollywood, the Supremes? That's like me, Clark the Shark, at 1-800-449-8255. You can estrange me and you can kick me out of the family and you can hate me. And today's Thanksgiving, you guys, and I'm not invited. I'm all alone down here in San Diego. Me and my wife will just eat a rotisserie chicken or like tacos. We don't need you anyway. My baby stays with me, you guys. Maybe not Angelia, but definitely these 3 ladies and my lady, Bia, my wife. She's like the Supremes to me, you guys. Because with my wife, I have a little bit of Diana with me forever. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show, you guys. from the golden EIB sharkerphone. It's not a microphone. The Wolfman Jack on crack, the smooth delivery of Clark the Shark, where you got to remember my promise and my guarantee to you is if you're not 100% satisfied with the Supremes music and me, Clark the Shark, you guys, these three ladies will hate you if you don't like me, and they'll condemn you and curse you, white boy, for what you tried to do to them and their people. It may be me too, Clark the Shark, who knows, at 1-800-449-8255, but I don't think so. I love all people, and I don't judge. No more whites, no more blacks, no more brown, no more Asian, no more anything, Middle Eastern, Indian. We're all one people, you guys. And I'll never forget the look in Diana's eyes when I met her and she hugged me. It's like she's all, this is Clark the Shark, and I'm in the Matrix. And this moment is God testing me. So she put down all her groceries in her purse and she hugged me and she stared at me for like a full 30 seconds or a minute or something. And I was like, what? And she saw, it's you. You're the one from 40 years ago. You, Clark the Shark. The Lord told me I have to hug you, and I don't want to. And I'm like, come on, Diana. Come on, sweetie. Just hug me. You know you want to. And she's like, no. But she did anyway. And then she's like, well, it wasn't so bad. I guess Clark the Shark is all right, you know. And I was going to say something like, Diana, why did you leave the Supremes? And also I was like, why did it get called Diana Ross and the Supremes? I never liked that. And she's like, it was Berry Gordy's idea, Sharky. Don't blame me. Look at her. She's like, Sharky, come on. I'm getting stern with you. You better listen. Look at those eyes. She's like commanding me. She's like, now look, Shark. You're good at music, blah, blah, but you'll never be me. And I'm like, Diana, you don't even write your own songs, girl. I could write you songs. And she's like, Sharky, don't go there. And I'm like, okay, I take that back. You're like royalty, sweetie. Me, I'm just Clark the Shark at 1-800-449-8255 from the fabulous golden EIB Sharkerphone, duh. #1 syndicated talk show host in Andromeda. And Diana's like, I don't care. Look at me. I'll always be more beautiful than thou. And I'm like, Diana, if it wasn't for Berry Gordy, you know, Motown, Hitsville, USA. She's like, Sharky, I gave you a hug at Gelson's. I looked you in the eye. And I swear, you guys, it was the same look in those same eyes. I'll never forget it. And I was like, all right, Diana, you've made your point. She looked at me like that, like, you better be good, Shark, and quit writing all those evil anti-God songs. And I'm like, I'm not anti-God, Diana. I believe in the Lord. I swear to God, at 1-800-449-8255. And she's like, you're all bummed out at the Lord, though. And I'm like, I'm not really. Just why did he stick us in a universe with like Satan and all these tests and all these hurdles and obstacles and fire hoops to jump through? And she's like, look at me, Shark. I had 5 kids, you know, with like some Jewish guy or some, I don't know. And I'm like, well, Diana, you know, you probably would have been happier had you married me, Clark the Shark. You know, and she's like, no, I wouldn't have been, Shark. You're just like people say, you're miserable. But I'm going to give you a hug. And I'm like, all right, whatever. She gave me a hug, you guys. The beautiful royalty, the lovely Diana Ross hugged me, Clark the Shark. And I told her I was a big fan. And she looked at me like that, as if to say, how dare you? The audacity of you. But then she smiled, and it was almost like she was going to kiss me. And then I was like creeped out, and I was like, not creeped out. It was weird, you guys. at 1-800-449-8255 on the fabulous Clark the Shark show. That's right. It's a true story, you guys. I would meet so many celebrities at that Gelson's. You know, Harry Nilsson, where he tried to run over my brother. I'm not kidding. And others, dude. Dude, I'm not kidding. I got to tell you all the stories of the celebs I would meet at that Gelson's. Tom Cruise. Oh, dude. I would try to say hi to him and they'd be like looking away and signing an autograph, looking away. I mean, they got better things to do than Clark the Shark, but not her, you guys. She stopped and hugged me. I'll bet Mary, if I seen Mary or one of these ladies, they would have like kissed me, you guys. She almost did, but not quite. Right here on the Clark the Shark show, 1-800-449-8255. Where I really just gave you the only review, let's be honest here, you guys, of the Supremes. Incredible, soulful, technical, melodic, atmospheric music that you'll ever need or want. The only review, baby, from a guy who knows Diana Ross. We know each other from 1 million years ago. And she gave me this look like, you're not better than me, Shark. And I don't even know where that came from. I was like, Diana, I'm not, you grew up here, baby. I'm just from Redondo Beach, Torrance. I'm just some white guy. You know, they hated me and humiliated me and nobody could stand me. But still, look at this, you guys. She started school in a worn, torn dress that somebody threw out. Do-do-do-do-do. She's a love child. She might just end up hating the child that they're just creating, baby. I don't know, you guys. She started life in a tenement slum. Not me. I'm from Redondo and Torrance, you guys. I didn't fucking grow up in this shit in, like, Michigan. Dude, Detroit, Michigan, baby. They were a group before Berry Gordy got a hold of them and all the songwriting. So they are a real group, you guys. They are. I used to say, nah, the Beatles are real because they write their own songs. The Supremes are just these three girls. But then I would hear their songs, you guys, and I'd be like, you know, these girls are cuter, like they're knockouts. And look at this, these eyes. I'm like, they're more beautiful than the Beatles. I actually became a bigger fan of this, you guys. I'm not kidding. 1-800-449-8255. And not just me, Clark the Shark. Every white boy in Torrance, Redondo Beach, Hermosa Beach, Lomita, Palos Verdes. We love the Supremes, Diana Ross. I remember talking to Dr. Phil, the guitarist of GE, the Greenhouse Effect. And he's like, Sharky, don't tell anyone. But I fucking love all those hit singles, you know, Berry Gordy, Hitsville, USA. And I'm like, dude, it's no big deal. In fact, everybody around Torrance and Redondo Beach and Hermosa Beach, we're bigger fans of the Supremes than like the Beatles or, you know, Frank Zappa or the Grateful Dead or you name it, man. The Stones, Mick, fuck that, dude. We like the Supremes. We just like her. This lady, these three ladies, sometimes four, many people would come and go after Diana left. It gets all weird, man. There's just all these different girls, and it keeps going. And I would always say, I wish Diana would drop the solo career and come back. And, you know, she did, but it was too late, you know. But whatever, you guys. I would have loved to have heard, you know, gosh, it can't happen now. Two of the three of the classic lineup are gone. It's just Diana. She's like 80. Or she's still playing. She's still singing, you guys. But I don't want to think of Mary or Florence again, you guys, because I'll start crying. I'll tear up, man. I'll get verklempt, baby, when I think of the Supremes. and being 9 years old, 1974, and listening to these songs that motivated me to play music more than the Beatles or anything. I'm not kidding, you guys. 1-800-449-8255 on the fabulous Clark the Shark Show, the Wolfman Jack on Crack. I want you to go buy every bit of music from the Supremes and learn all about them, you guys. I know all about them. And just, remember the 60s, you guys. Someday, me, Clark the Shark, I'll be dead and gone. I lived 5 years from 65 to 69 in the 60s, and I even remember it. I remember being a little kid, and I remember all this great music and all. It was a horrible time because of the Vietnam War. It was very tense. I remember just being 3 and 4 and 5 years old, and there was a horrible feeling in the air, and yet the music was great. The Beatles were breaking up. The Stones were putting out Sympathy for the Devil, and then, later on, Sticky Fingers and Exile and all that shit, and The Who, Tommy, Who's Next, then Quadrophenia. But somehow the Supremes, there's something about them that Led Zeppelin doesn't got, and the Doors don't got, and the Kinks don't even got, or something. It's weird, you guys. These 3 beautiful ladies. I had to marry a black lady and become friends with black people, you guys, because of Diana Ross, because of the Supremes. I wanted to be friends with as many black people as I could find. And even if they fucking hate my guts, I don't care. Or if they hate all white people, that's all well and good. After what happened to them, perhaps they should hate us white people. And the Lord would be like, no, Shark, you got to forgive and forget and move on. We all do, you guys, because the Lord says forgive or you won't be forgiven, Sharky. And all of you too. It's not a matrix, you guys. It's not a simulation. I don't run it, you guys. I didn't write it all. I couldn't have written something as brilliant and amazing as the Supremes. That takes a genius like Berry Gordy and Hitsville, USA, and Motown, you guys. Back in the 60s, I wasn't even around. I was just a fucking little sperm, you guys. I was just 2, 3. I didn't even know what I was doing. Why do I come off as such a genius guru to all of you? I'm not, you guys. I'm just a faker. I'm just a fucking phony. But this lady isn't. These 3 ladies, they may not have written many of their own songs. Or maybe they did, and they're like Clark the Shark, and they keep most of them in a drawer. I'll never know, or maybe I do. All I know is when I heard Mary died, just a couple years ago, I broke down and cried. Because Supreme can never die. Because they're supreme. And the Supremes don't die. I hope Diana lives to be 100 and keeps on playing. Not Mick. I hope he just fucking retires, but not Diana. If she's playing at 80, that's okay, but Mick needs to fucking put a sock in it. Him and Keith. I'm hearing they're going on tour in 2024, man, dude. They're fucking 80, 81. Give it up, you guys. But Diana, no. I hope you go on playing. And email me, Diana, Clark the Shark at CLAHAGIN at AOL.com. I want to produce your next songs and help you write a song or whatever. I would love to. Right here on the Clark the Shark Show, you guys. And I'm out of here. Peace.